When Derek was a little boy, I think this is such a marvelous story. He was 5 at the time, and we were playing Georgia Tech in Atlanta on Thanksgiving night. And Vince had a rule that Daniel couldn't get on the sidelines until he was 10 years old. Well, you know that doesn't apply to the baby. The fourth child, by the time they come along, you just let them do whatever they want to do. You're worn out. And so Derek was 5. Vince took the team over on Wednesday. So we stayed in Athens and had Thanksgiving without him. And so on the way to Atlanta, Derek said, "Mom, can I get on the sidelines tonight?" And I said, "Derek, your daddy probably really feels guilty about not being with us on Thanksgiving. Go on and ask him." Mamas have a way of setting up their dads. Now, I have to preface this story by saying that we had family prayers every single night. We would sit down, turn off the TV, take the phone off the hook, and we would pray. And the kids would pray for everybody that was bad at school. I knew everything that was going on. But we also prayed to win football games. We never cared who the best team was. That didn't enter our minds. So we get to Atlanta, and Derek goes, "Dad, can I get on the sidelines tonight?" And Vincent said, "Son, you can go down to the sidelines for the fourth quarter. If we're beating Tech by a big enough score, your mother can put you on the sidelines for the fourth quarter. But there are 2 rules. You cannot get near me, and you cannot get near my team. Do you understand me, Derek?" He goes, "Yes, sir." So we had family prayers, and he says, "In Jesus, please let us be beaten Tech by a big enough score that I can get to the sidelines." Well, at the end of the third quarter, the score was 42-0. And I thought that was a reasonable lead to take him to the sidelines. So I said, "Derek, what are the rules?" He says, "I can't get near Dad, and I can't get near the team." I said, "That's right, let's go." So we get down to the fence, and it's 42-7. And I get a manager and get him over the fence, and it's 42-14. By the time I get back to my seat, it's 42-21. Tech had kicked an onside kick and has the ball, and Derek Dooley is pulling on his daddy's pant leg. Now, ladies, you know whose fault this is. Tech is going right down the field. I am in the fetal position as I'm watching Vince kick him. Vince is jabbing him, and Derek's pulling on him all the way down till Tech scores. Finally, Tech made it 42-28, and I saw Derek and Vince exchange words, and then Derek went and sat on the bench. Well, we won 42-28, and I vowed never to mention that game to Vince Dooley. So we got in the hotel that night, and we got the kids down in their room, and we got in our room, and I got in bed, and he turned out the light, and there was this silence that encompassed the whole room, where I knew something big time was about to happen, and I couldn't escape. And all of a sudden, he said, "Barbara." I almost said, "Sir," but I didn't. He said, "The darndest thing happened tonight." He said, "I was in the heat of battle, and Derek was pulling on me. He said, I kicked him. I did everything to shake that kid. And he said, finally, when Tech scored, I said, Derek, what do you want? And he said, Barbara, he looked up at me with those big brown eyes, and he said, Dad, don't worry about a thing. Jesus is just out here having a little fun. Isn't that a great story?